Understanding compassion, but understanding is not enough. That's the point of this video. Someone sent me a feedback to my video, which is quite interesting to review. I will post it in the description for those who are interested. But responding to that, I explain what the compassion may mean. And in the past I was thinking about it, but this opportunity provided me to say something clearly in writing, so I can post that one in the description. But here, on this video, I can just capture, if I can, the essence of it. Compassion is, or could be defined as responding internally and externally about the sense of how to correct or address the issues that may help us to live everybody toward being happy, not just one person. For example, if I talk about non-duality, I hate that term, but it's conceptually is the state of your not using your brain or the mind, and therefore you just are as you are. So no self, no thinking, no mind correspond to that state. So you can talk about non-duality, but coming from Samadhi and no mind, no self, we'll get to the same state. But you can say that's the state of deep Samadhi, because you can have a momentary state of no mind and no self, but when you are really at the deep state of Samadhi, then you are actually go to the other shore, meaning Nirvana. And that can be done by Namu Amida Butsu and other ways that I shared already. But it's worth sharing when the opportunity arises, because it's a continuous awareness we are aiming for, not just understanding, but practicing it when it's needed. So you need to have a mind with the joriki, the steady power, to connect to that state, absolute state of being I call home, eternal home. So it's, the words are very precarious, is that the word? You know, when we talk about something and say about something, you seem to be able to capture something, except it may be just happening in the mind. So all we need to be careful is understanding is not understanding unless you're practicing it real time. So back to this compassion question. The way I answered is that a little subtle, but this is my description. The compassion is possible because we still have a trace of ego and experience deep inside of us, so that something happens and you get hurt, you remember that. Sometimes something happened unjustifiably, out of your reach, but that happens just like in nature. You know, the storm may come and the earth may hit. As much as the same can happen artificially, but when it comes to the artificial issue of us getting some impact negatively, positively maybe we don't think much about it, but negatively, positively you just thinking happy, but negatively it may stay with us, hurt feeling. Like when your house is burned, and the next house is standing still, you feel why. And I get the injury, drop off from the ledge, and I didn't see well. That's the nature's way, but something hit me. Someone's careless in driving a car and I got hit or something. Then this rage, anger response may happen. So those are part of our life's experience. And because we use our mind, we think through it and think back and how to resolve and all of that, and can become a very negative response of revenge, and those things happen. So actually this question was related to some event in the world, and I used the term crazy world, and that's what it is. But how we navigate, so the compassion is also a way to know ourselves and to be equanimous, not to be affected as much. As human, because of the brain, we may still affect it, but leave it in the mind. So no mind, leave the stuff, but don't think back about it. So it's contained. There's a barrier, detachment. This happened, and then you go, say Nam Amida Butsu into Samadhi, and be quiet. Calm and quiet mind to make a judgment of leave it alone. Because if I grab on it, the energy is wasted, and I feel, and my whole body would suffer as much as other people interfacing me can have an impact. So back to compassion. If we have those experiences, if we turn it around instead of going to the negative direction, but at least equanimous and have a wall, I guess I don't like the wall, acceptance is the wall, to take it and just stay. No mind, no self. And be at the state of absolute being. And what does that mean? How do you practice it? That's the name of the game. So I answered to that question I received. And again, I have it in the description, which I think is meaningful. And actually, I also, to correct my English, I asked the ChatGPT and Gemini how they may edit my response. And Gemini didn't do any good. I was disappointed. And ChatGPT did a very good job. So I gave a feedback to Gemini. They apologized. This is AI. But it's too late, and I was hurt. And I was happy with the ChatGPT that they could figure out where Gemini couldn't. So it's not the revenge, just the feedback. But I have some memory created, so when I deal with Gemini again, I'll be cautious. Don't waste my time if they haven't developed the skill. And we do the same thing with people, with each other. So you can call it the natural defense. That's an interesting word. Natural defense. So that your whole being is not affected. Shielded from the stress. And that's what I mentioned about Einstein pointing. Intelligent person is what's his word? Just ignore it. That's smart. But can retain and share it and understand it and reinforce it. So I gave an answer to this person with a video about the lady, what's her name? Fuji, who had the transformation, and I liked it, so I posted the video. So those are examples that we can, or the references that we can relate to, and then, we can practice it. One of the reasons of my posting lots of video is to confirm that I have certain level of ability to defend when it's too troublesome to deal with the situation. Leave it in the box, too difficult to deal with. This I can do, this just don't do it. Just like Einstein pointing 3 different baskets. Weak person is to revenge, and strong person may be compassionate. I may have different opinion, but the intelligent person ignore. That's what he said. But there's a relationship, subtlety that we can capture out of it. So basically, that's the whole picture of what we can think and do in relation to compassion. Because of the hurt feeling, if we process it right, you remember it, even if you are in a state of indifference. And then you become more compassionate. Because if people are suffering, we also suffer, because we have the suffering experience that pops up. So that is a positive way to look at the situation. Instead of throwing into the basket and throw away, turning around and to reinforce, just like AI, reinforce learning in the right direction, not in the wrong direction, so that we can have a better life individually, but also be able to communicate. So that's just a brief summary, and I hope there's some interesting point, especially if you can check the description and Fuji-san's, Lady Fuji's video, which I put into the description too. Let's have a calm and quiet mind as a base. Joriki, steady power. And reinforce that over and over and over in the direction that follows the nature's way. You have a good day. Thank you.